If you want to get to the point of making consistent daily sales on Etsy, then it's crucial that you understand how to do Etsy SEO and product research before you ever even create a listing. Now, I know it may be tempting to just skip over the research, but trust me, friend, you will be so glad in the end that you took this step seriously because it informs your decisions and ensures that A, you'll be offering a product that people actually want on the Etsy platform, and B, that your listings will actually be discovered in the search and not just buried beneath hundreds of other listings. There's a lot that goes into this type of research, but today I'm giving you the quick and easy way to get it done in just a few minutes so that you can save time and still work strategically to create listings that'll sell. So if that sounds good to you, just keep watching. Hey friend, welcome back to the channel. If we haven't met yet, I'm Kate. I'm a wife, mom, Etsy seller, and business coach, and I'm here to help you start and scale an online business so that you can make a full-time income doing what you love. So like I mentioned before, today we're talking all things Etsy SEO, keyword, and product research, and I'm about to break it down step by step and show you my system for working with smart strategy to create listings that will sell and be discovered. So if you're excited, give a little love tap on that thumbs up button and let's jump in. Okay, let's start with step one, which is to identify your target keyword phrase. When you're thinking of the product you want to sell and the listing you want to create, the first step to doing this type of research is to identify what keyword phrase describes that product in that listing best. And we're looking specifically for a keyword phrase that is going to be highly searched on the Etsy platform. So for this first step, I'm not talking super specific yet. We'll get to that later and making it more specific. I'm talking about identifying a broad keyword phrase that's like your main keyword phrase that you're going to be targeting with this listing and that you're going to research to ensure that it actually is highly searched on Etsy. So let's say that we are looking at selling journals, specifically leather journals, and so we're thinking of the keyword phrase leather journal. The tool that I would start with is Sales Samurai. This is the tool that I use for my SEO and my keyword research. And so when you're on Sales Samurai, you can come over here to the left where it says search and click on that. And we're going to start by doing a keyword search for our term leather journals. All right, so the main thing I'm looking for here when it brings up the results for that keyword phrase is the Etsy search volume. There's a lot of other data and analytics that you can check out on this page, which we'll come back to in just a minute and look further when we're getting more specific. But for this first step, we're identifying our broad main keyword phrase. And so I'm just looking at the search volume on Etsy per month for this search term. So Sales Samurai will tell me right here what the monthly Etsy search volume is for this phrase leather journal, which is over 26,000 searches per month. So that tells me this is a highly searched keyword phrase that a lot of people are looking for and might be a good one to base my main keyword phrase off of. Now, of course, like I mentioned, we want to get more specific. We want to get more long tail with this, which means we're going to use descriptive words later, and we'll come back to Sales Samurai in a minute to look for those more specific words. But this is just confirmation for me in this first step that the term leather journal is a great place to start. Now, I do have Sales Samurai linked in the description box below. If you'd like to try it out, there is a free 3-day trial, and then you can get 20% off after that if you decide to stick with them to use them as a tool with my code KATE20. Okay, now let's move on to step number 2, which is to analyze successful listings on Etsy. So for this step, we're going to come to Etsy and just type in that keyword phrase that we just looked up in the search bar. So I'm going to type in leather journal, and I'm going to analyze the successful listings that come up that are selling well already on Etsy for that search term. So the first step here, once the search results come up, is to go to all filters, and you're going to filter this by bestseller. So you're going to check where it says bestseller, apply, and this is going to filter all of the search results to show you only the ones that are selling really well currently. Now, as I look through this first page of search results, I like to take special notice of the ones that have this little yellow badge that either says popular now or sometimes it says bestseller. That's an extra clue that that specific listing is selling really, really well and they're doing something right, which I can take inspiration from. So now I want to just scroll through this first page of these bestseller search results and take notice of what elements in these products I'm seeing repeated over and over again. It could be things like style, material, color, specific elements of the product. I call these trend elements, and I like to just scroll through and get an idea of what things are making these specific listings best sellers. So as I'm scrolling through, I'm noticing a few different things with these leather journals. Number one is most of them seem to be really earthy colors, really natural colors, colors that would be more natural for leather. I'm also noticing that several of them have this band or this wraparound piece that goes around the whole journal. So that tells me that is a popular element. And I noticed too that a lot of them are engraved either with with initials or names or a phrase. So that tells me that people are liking personalized, customized journals. So I'm just going to take note of these few things and think about which of these I could maybe incorporate into my product to make sure to give it some of those elements that make a bestseller in this niche. So I'm going to start taking note of what the thumbnail images look like for these bestsellers. Is it the product listed only by itself with a plain background? Is it maybe staged with some props to make it more of a lifestyle image? Is it a flat lay? Is it taken at an angle? What is the lighting like in the picture? I can't stress how important it is to have a really killer thumbnail image. That's the thing that's going to be click-worthy and the thing that's going to draw people in to look at your listing above the others on that page. So there's two main types of photos I'm noticing in these best-selling listings for this niche. Number one is that they're either on a trendy looking background. We can see a wood surface underneath this. We've got another wood surface here. This one seems like it's almost like a concrete pattern underneath and behind, which is really trendy and modern looking. So it's either that or it's styled with some lifestyle props like a pen or another notebook. I'm seeing a lot of these with the pen, just giving a little bit of extra vision for what this product could be in someone's life. So I'm just mentally taking notes of this, and you could even write this down if you need to take notes of what types of photos are working well for these listings. Obviously, something is working really well for these to be bestsellers, so we want to take inspiration and do research to make sure that we're incorporating similar things in our listing so that it sells well for this particular niche. Now, speaking of taking notice of trend elements, this type of research is so crucial to make sure that you're creating listings with that bestseller potential. I do have a free masterclass that's available to you if you want to take a deeper dive into this type of trend element research, where I walk you through step by step how to do this successfully, as well as the other 4 pillars that my personal Etsy business was built upon and the strategies that I focused on over the last several years to bring my business to 6 figures. So if you want to check that out after watching this video, it's linked in the description box below. Like I mentioned, totally free to you. You can sign up. It's a 60-minute Etsy success masterclass that I think is truly going to benefit you for starting and scaling your successful Etsy business. Okay, so next we're going to click through on one of these bestseller listings and look at the specific elements of that one listing. So I'm going to click on this one since we have the popular now badge here. I'm going to look at this specific listing. The first thing I like to do on the listing is scroll through their photos, and I'm looking at, number one, how many photo slots have they used? Most bestseller listings will have used almost all, if not all, of the photo slots because people like to see it from different angles and they like to see more photos. So I'm going to scroll through and I'm going to take note of several things. I'm going to look at the lighting, the background, the surface, if it's staged or not, if it's showing the packaging, a lot of different things. So when I scroll through, first I see they do have a video, which is like the cherry on top. People love to see a video if possible on the listing. So really professional looking video, which is nice. Then the next photo is showing me this is very stylized, very staged. We've got the compass here. We've got a really rustic looking journal with these pages that are not really even. This is like super old timey looking, and they've got the staging to match it. We've got a feather pen here. So I can tell right off the bat the type of journal this is and the type of feel we're going for with these images. We've got a map, we've got a key on the front. So this is very clear to me what type of buyer this would appeal to. I like the fact, just going back one, I like the fact that there are some staged, but there's also a few that are more plain and simple. We don't want them all to be staged the same way. You want to give the buyer some different looks and different feels by offering a few different types of photos. What this kind of staging does is help the buyer to imagine and sort of visualize what it might look like in their life, and helps to evoke a little bit of that emotion that goes into buying to show them what it could be for them as well. Now we do see here that there is a personalization option available. So it's great if you do offer personalization to have a photo showing an option of that and what it would look like. And then we've got different angles as well. So like we saw here, this was taken above as a flat lay, and the next photo is taken at like an extreme angle showing the side. And we've got a picture here of a feather pen. So I'm assuming this is probably an option to add on. If there's any add-on options in addition to the main product, you always want to show photos of that as well. So speaking of options, the next thing I like to look at over here is the drop-down menu. Let's see what they're offering. So we have style and personalize. So style, they've got lots of different sizes available for different prices. We've got some that are just the journal and some that include the feather pen, which is really cool. And then we've got a personalization option where we can choose yes, we want it personalized, or no. So it's great to have variations available in these drop-down menus for people to customize it and make it a little bit more their own. Now, again, we're just taking note of all of these to take inspiration from these best-selling products to get ideas. We never want to copy someone exactly specifically for what they have, but we want to gain inspiration and think about how we could incorporate some of these elements into our listings, but put our own twist and our own spin on it. Now, the next thing I'm going to look at on this listing is the title to see what keyword phrases this person has used in the title. And it looks like they've got several different ones separated by a comma, which is exactly what you want to do. You want to separate those by either a comma or a line or a dash, so it makes it really easy to read and also easy for the Etsy algorithm to tell exactly what this listing is. So we've got personalized, genuine leather journal, leather notebook, custom engraved gift for women and men, handmade paper, travel journal, birthday gift. Now I'm going to look down here at the description, and hopefully they have kind of organically placed some of those keyword phrases in the description as well, because that boosts it with the algorithm as well. We see right here the keyword phrase leather journal. We've got another one down here where they mention genuine leather. So it looks like they are using their keywords in the description and also giving us the information that we need, like the dimensions, how many pages it is, all of the details about the actual product. Next, I like to look at the reviews. I'm looking at the 5-star reviews that are mentioning specific things about this listing that people loved, so that I can tell what people in this niche are looking for with a leather journal and what specific elements can I do well that will cause my customer to be really happy with it. So I'm looking to see if people mention things like certain details of it or quick shipping or the quality of it. So we see over here, excellent quality, very unique. So they're looking for something that's unique and not just like everything else. Very fast shipping, even with customization. And then the next one down mentions it looks like an old magical journal. So people for this listing liked it because it was unique. It looks magical. It's mentioning the good construction and the fact that it's heavy. So that speaks to the quality of the product itself. So I can gain a lot of knowledge and insight by looking at these 5-star reviews and taking note of specific things that people are mentioning and keep that in mind for what I can do well in my listing. All right, now that we've analyzed some listings, we're going to move on to step number 3, which is to decide on supporting keyword phrases. Okay, so for this step, we're going to come back over to our search on Sales Samurai that we typed in leather journal, and we're going to look at the data that Sales Samurai gives us for this. So we've already looked at the search volume, which we've confirmed is high and a really great place to start, but now we're going to decide on a few other keyword phrases that we can incorporate into our title and our tags for SEO purposes to ensure that our listing is going to be found in the search. So on our listing, we're going to come over here to the tags section. This is where I want to focus because I love that Sales Samurai gives us suggested tags that are related to the keyword phrase that we searched for. So it's taking leather journal and it's giving us things that are similar or related in some way, and it's also giving us the Etsy search volume for those suggested phrases so we can tell which ones are also highly searched and might be good as supporting keyword phrases or to use as our tags. So when we're looking over here at the tags section, we can actually click on this Etsy search volume and organize the results by highest to lowest. So here we've got the highest search suggested tags, and these are including words like personalized, journal, anniversary gift, handmade, recipe book, personalized gift. We could go down the list and just first off determine which of these even apply and would be accurately describing our product. And then secondly, deciding which of these can stand alone as their own tag or which we might want to combine with our previous keyword phrase to make it a more long tail specific keyword or tag that we could use. So the word personalized is highly searched and we've got our keyword phrase leather journal. So we might combine those to make personalized leather journal. Ideally, we want to have a mixture of short and long tail keywords in our listing in the strategic places of the title, the tag section, and the description. So a short tail keyword phrase is just basically one word. It's very broad, like journal. A long tail keyword phrase would be a phrase with several words included, like rustic recipe book or Christmas gift for mom. Now, another thing we want to take into consideration with our title and our keyword phrases and tags is that we don't want to keep using the same word over and over again. If possible, we want to diversify a little bit by substituting some of those words. So for instance, journal could become diary or guest book or notebook. This way, in theory, you'll be reaching a larger audience of people that are searching for different terms as opposed to just using journal every time you're mentioning it in your tags. Now, this is with the assumption that you're only using words that accurately describe your product. You never want to use a tag that doesn't describe your product. So you wouldn't want to say guest book if it wasn't really intended to be a guest book. Now, you might be wondering, is it okay to repeat the word a couple times? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. Don't feel like you can only say the word journal one time. You can absolutely repeat it if you need to in different phrases. But in general, I recommend doing kind of a mixture. So repeat it in the most highly searched for, most highest potential phrases, and then substitute it for some other words that are similar in your additional keyword phrases. Now, a couple notes here. When you're doing this type of research, you number one want to focus on highly searched keyword phrases. Now, competition does play a part. So if it's high competition, competition, it may be harder to break through and actually be found. But I recommend focusing on those highly searched keyword phrases regardless of the competition, and then making them longer tail and more specific by adding in some descriptive words. You can think of words that maybe describe the style or the type of product it is, or even who it's intended for. An example of this could be rustic leather journal. Now, once you've identified your supporting keyword phrases and you have those in mind for your tags, you want to pick the ones that have the most potential and are the best keyword phrases and use those in your title of your listing, separated, like I said before, either by commas or dashes or lines. And then you want to match those as closely as possible in your tag section. You have the ability to use 13 tags in each listing, and I highly recommend that you use all 13. Now, you may not be able to match them exactly with what you have in the title because there is a character limit on each of your tags, but you want to get as close as possible. And then in addition to your title and tags, you want to naturally and organically weave those into your product description. So you don't want to keyword stuff by just putting a list of your tags. Etsy doesn't like that, but you can naturally weave it in and work it in your description in a really conversational way so that it makes sense and it's readable. If you're using those keyword phrases in all three of those sections, you're going to give your listing as much opportunity with the algorithm as possible to be identified correctly for what it is and pushed out to the people that really are searching for something like what you're offering. So I hope this was helpful for you, friends. It's so important to do your research before you ever even create a listing. So hopefully this gives you the quick and easy way to get started. And don't forget to take a deeper dive into this as well as those other pillars that I've used in my own Etsy business to reach success by signing up for that free masterclass. It's linked below, and it's going to break down for you a step-by-step strategy to start and grow your Etsy shop. Now, if you're just starting your research and you want to know more about how to actually optimize your Etsy listings to break through and be discovered in the search, then I have a whole separate video where I give you my top 8 hacks for optimizing your listings to be discovered. So if you're interested in that, then just click or tap on the square on the screen right now, and that'll take you straight over to watch that video. Bye, friends.